Hello everybody, this is Dedra with Paper Crafts and Planners, and today I'm going to make 6 more cards for the scrapbook.com Cards for Kindness card drive. I talked about this in my video on Monday about all the details of the card drive, and so I won't go into all of that, but I will link below to how you can get the form and the information. I'll also link to Monday's video in case you didn't see it, so you can go look at it. In Monday's video, I showed how to make card bases, and so again, I'm not going to go through that. I have 6 of them already cut. And here is our card sketch we're going to use today. And I will link to the website where that can be found, but I found it on Pinterest. So this says that they want you to cut the back piece, the base piece for your card, your printed paper, at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I won't be able to get 6 out of a 12 by 12 sheet if I do that. So we're going to cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. So that I can get the most out of that 12 by 12 sheet. And then we're going to bring that other piece down 1/4 inch. So it'll be 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. And this banner piece here, or this piece that goes underneath, we're going to leave it at 1 1/2, but we're going to cut it down to 5 1/4. So it's the same length as the card. And then I'm going to use the same circle as 2 inch because I have a punch that's 2 inch. This paper is called Pirate Tales, and it is an Echo Park paper. And I don't think it is a current because it came in last year's warehouse box. This piece is double-sided with pirates and then polka dots on the back, and we're going to flip it and use either or. This has red little crosses in black on the red, and it has sharks on the back, but I don't think we're going to use the sharks. And then the one that we're going to use as our base has sea creatures and then this gradient blue, which is really pretty. By the way, the Echo Park warehouse box is twice a year, and right now they are having it again. It's the time for that, and I will link to it below. I went ahead and got it. It's $50, and you get $175 to $200 worth of materials in there. And last year I got, my second box last year was a lot of Disney, which I don't use, but I will be making things for my Etsy shop, so that's okay. But I love when it's a really good variety and a whole bunch of different patterns and different things that I might not have purchased myself throughout the year. I kept that strip black because I think it goes with everything. All of the other pieces have black details, so I think that'll go nicely. I cut out some strips of white at 3/4 inch tall because I have some sentiments that I'm going to use, and I picked out Just Because, Congrats, Thinking of You, and Hello. I think those are the 4, yes. And so doing it 3/4 inch tall, they will all fit on there. Now I'm going to of course cut them down so that they fit where I want them to on the card, but we'll get into that later, and we'll do the stamping a little bit later also. We're not going to do that right now, but I'm just going to stamp black on the white paper and then put the strips on there while they'll fit. By the way, a really nice thing to do is go on Pinterest, go on different places, and get these card recipes, I call them, and print them out and keep them in your craft room. So when you're low on ideas, you have some ideas saved up. Okay, we're going to cut, I'm not going to cut all those other pieces because I think you can tell how to get the most out of a 12 by 12 for the smaller pieces. But on this one, we're going to go ahead and cut that 4 by 5 1/4 piece. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. Make sure you're paying attention to which way your pattern goes because this is a horizontal layout card and we don't want to cut the pat to where the pattern doesn't look good the other way. So we're going to cut the 4 inch first, and then we'll cut the 5 1/4 because this is doing a horizontal and because of the way the pattern goes on my paper. So just be conscious of that pattern as you're doing this. And so now we're going to cut the 5 1/4. And we can get 2 across this way. So we're going to be able to get 3 down and 2 across, so we'll be able to get all 6 from this one 12 by 12 piece of paper. And I won't bore you with watching me do all those. So this is how I think that I'm going to put the cards together. I'm going to use that polka dot side with the sea creatures. And I know it's not showing up really well on there, but the sea creatures really match the colors of that polka dot paper, and there's the red from that red circle. And then I'm going to do the pirates on the gradient blue. and it goes light to dark, so it'll be different, a little bit different on each card. And then I'm kind of looking at how in the world do I want to put these sentiment strips on, and I do come up with ways that they look different on each card, which I really like. So we're going to stamp these sentiments on these strips, and then we'll figure out how we're going to put them on. So I put the strip in my MISTI, whatever stamp positioning tool you happen to own, or you can just use a stamp block, but I lined it all the way up into the corner. So if for some reason it shifts a little bit, all I have to do is move that piece right back in the corner and I can stamp again. So these are fairly new, these stamps that I'm using. They're an older sets that I've had a while, but these particular sentiments I haven't used a lot. So we're going to ink them up, and I think I end up having to stamp them about 3 times, but I don't make you watch all of that. I just make you watch me do it twice. And again, we'll be cutting these down to size, but for right now I'm just leaving a good amount of space between each sentiment so I can cut them to different sizes. And you can see they don't come out hardly at all the first time. I didn't season these stamps in any way or prep them for this. Sometimes with these clear acrylic stamps you need to rub them down with like a baby wipe, maybe an eraser even. There's a coating on them sometimes when they come from the manufacturer, and then stamp them a few times, and you get a much better impression if you do that. But I didn't do that before this video, so I'll just stamp it until I get it to look the way I want it. That's the beauty of the MISTI. Okay, but I won't make you watch all that as I stamp it 3 and 4 times. We'll just move on to putting these cards together, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so here I have them, and I'm just deciding how I'm going to put the sentiments on. But first I decided it would look really cute if I inked up the edges, and I love to do that. So I have some black soot distress oxide ink. You can use any black ink, any dark blue, dark brown, whatever you decide looks best with what you're doing. This paper has a white core, so it did show the white around the edges. You can see I've already inked my hands plenty. So I'm just going to go around the edges with this finger dauber and just kind of flick it in, and so it gives kind of a really nice distressed look. And I'm not worrying about how neat I do it. That's the whole point of it. You don't want just this neat black line around. And I'm going to do all of the pieces, and I think I'm going to do the sentiment strips also, so they're not just a stark white on this print. I think that'll be cute. But yeah, hopefully you can see it really clearly how much that makes it. It just kind of gives a finished edge to the look, and I like it. The only thing we're not going to ink up are the black strips, because what would be the point of that? Another thing you can do with black paper if you're just using a solid or a black is you can take a shimmer pen and color over it and make it like a shimmery, glittery thing. But on a pirate card, I don't think it's appropriate, so we're not going to do that today. Let's ink up this other one. And I'm only going to put 2 of the cards together on screen here, and then at the end I will show you how all of the cards look, and also all of the cards briefly that I'm sending in my box to the Cards for Kindness card drive. And they're the ones I made from Monday, the ones I'm making today, and then some I've made from previous scrapbook.com, Spellbinders card kit of the month. I love that card kit. And so I make, you know, at least 10, usually more than that, cards out of it each month, out of all the supplies that come. So I have all of these cards, and not all of them make it to my Etsy shop, so I'm going to be donating some of those. Okay, so I have a grid paper here, and I'm going to line up my paper on the grid paper so that I can see that everything's lined up perfectly. And I'm going to put, well, not perfectly, it's a handmade card, but you know what I mean. And I'm going to put that black strip about 3/4 up from the bottom. I think that's how it looks good. I don't think it's set on the card sketch, but that's how I've decided to do it. So, which I can tell the grid has 1/4 of an inch marks on it. This is one I get from Close to My Heart, but there are glass mats you can get. There are grid underneath all of this. I have that Staycation Ranger magnetic mat, and it has grids on it too, and it also has a magnetic ruler and magnets, so you can use that if you want. And I think this is so cute with the polka dots and the sea creatures and the little crosses here on that circle. And again, when you use a paper collection, or if I've said this, I don't know. When you use a paper collection that came together, you know all the colors are going to coordinate. And it's going to look cute together no matter which way you flip the paper. And I really love that. That's why I have so many paper collections. Yeah, that's the reason. Okay, so then I decide this congrats that I want one side of it rounded, but I've already glued down my circle. So I'm going to take a circle I haven't adhered yet, and I'm going to trim around so I get that shape before I go and glue it down to my card. And then I'm going to dovetail or banner tail, whatever you want to call it, the other end. And the way I do that is take some detail shears and make a slit right in the middle, as close to the middle as I can, and then cut from each corner into that center cut. And then you end up with this nice dovetail or banner end look. And I really like that look. I wanted to use that on at least one card. And then we're going to ink this up also, all the way around and on the banner pieces, so that it will kind of fit in and also not just be that stark white on there. I'm going to put it right there in the middle of that circle. By the way, yes, I'm wearing pajamas, if you've noticed from my sleeves, and I don't know if you can see the pants in any of the videos. It is a matching set, but it's a very old set, and I think there's Christmas trees on it. And Christmas is over. But I like to be comfortable when I'm making cards. And since you only see my hands, I get that privilege of looking comfortable. Now on this one, I decided I'm going to use the hello, and I'm going to put it all the way across and then round both sides. So I'm going to glue it down first and then trim it to fit the circle, which is how I could have done the other one, but I forgot to ink it. I want to ink that top and bottom. I don't know why I inked the side, because that's not going to show. I'm going to trim it off, but the top and bottom I definitely wanted to ink. Okay, I'm going to put it on my circle, and then I'm going to trim around the circle. And then probably put some more ink. I think I do, because it the white is covering up the edges of that circle now. I could have really used smaller scissors to do this. But I think that looks really cute with that hello all the way across. And again, they'll all look a little different this way. Okay. Now in this one, I don't know why I get so fussy lining it up. I think I was like, is that the right size? Like I got very confused about whether it was 5 1/4, and it definitely is 5 1/4. I don't know. I think at this point in making a video, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Oh yeah. Because I'm talking the whole time I'm making the video. However, I do end up doing a voiceover because I get a little wordy sometimes, and I sped this video up just a little bit. Can you imagine how long it would be if I didn't speed it up? Yeah, pretty long. So this I'm going to use the pirate side with the ship and the little pirate and the shark. It's just super cute. And then put that right there, which ends up covering up one of the pirates, but it's okay. It's still cute. And I really think this one turned out good also. Okay, so we'll take, this is what we've got, and I'll show you the rest of them that I put together and some cards that I made that I'm going to send along with this. Okay, so here are today's cards. And they each, like I said, they each look just a little bit different, but cute, I think, if I do say so myself. And then these are Monday's cards with the butterflies and the florals and the stripes. And then these are just some cards I had in my stash from previous Spellbinders card kits. And I'll link to the card kit of the month in case you're interested. Just so cute. And a couple of them I made not with card kits, I don't know. Made them different just over the year. But I think they turned out super cute.